Jack Harlan froze in his boots, staring at the three shadows huddled against the flickering light of his barn lamp. Rain pounded the tin roof like gunfire, turning the dirt road to Willow Ridge into a muddy river. These women didn't belong here, three strangers in soaked dresses that hugged their figures in ways that made his pulse race and his fists clench. The tallest one, with hair like midnight, leaned on a post, her olive skin glistening under the downpour. Water trailed down her neck, drawing his eyes despite the walls he'd built around his heart for over 2 decades. The redhead, young and fierce, chewed her lip, her ripped blouse exposing skin no proper lady would show. And the third, a woman with wise eyes and curves that spoke of hard-earned wisdom, stepped forward with a poise that screamed trouble. "Please," she breathed, her voice cutting through the storm. Jack Harlan, the untouched rancher of Willow Ridge, felt his ironclad resolve shatter. What came next could break Heimer, remake him entirely. His hands shook worse than during his first barroom brawl as he ushered them into his cabin. The gale outside sealed them in, making the room feel like a pressure cooker ready to explode. "We ran from Madame Louise's place," the older one said, wringing out her chestnut locks. "I'm Evelyn. This is Lily," she nodded to the fiery redhead. "And Sophia." The dark-haired beauty with native features met his gaze steadily, her coal-black eyes holding secrets that twisted his gut. Evelyn's gown, once elegant satin, now plastered to her ample form, catching the fire's glow on her cleavage. Jack forced his focus on her story, not the distraction. "Louise was fixing to sell me to a brute who gets his kicks from pain." Lily snorted, the sound sharp as a whip. "Lucky you won buyer. She had a trio lined up for me." Her torn top barely held, revealing pale skin without a hint of modesty. But Sophia undid him completely. As she warmed by the hearth, her skirt hitched up, showing toned legs marked by hardship. When she locked eyes with him, it wasn't lust-stirring, it was a deep, protective urge he'd long buried. "You're hurt," Jack rasped, spotting the blood on Sophia's ankle. She shrugged it off. "Just a scrape from the fence." But he was already kneeling with water and bandages. His rough hands trembled as he lifted her foot, her skin smooth as velvet under his calluses. Cleaning the wound meant pushing her dress higher, exposing the sweep of her thigh. His breath hitched. Hers did too. Looking up, he saw no judgment in her eyes, only surprise. "Your touch," she murmured with a faint accent. "It's kind. Not like—" She stopped, but he got it. In her world, men meant harm. "I won't let anyone hurt you," Jack vowed, meaning every word. "Any of you." Evelyn watched with a softening gaze. Lily's tough facade cracked, showing the scared kid underneath. As he wrapped Sophia's wound, their stares locked electric, inevitable. For the first time, Jack Harlan touched a woman with awe, not fear. Outside, the storm raged like fury. Inside, for damaged souls teetered on salvation or ruin. The downpour trapped them for 5 days, each hour chipping at Jack's barriers like a chisel on rock. Evelyn commandeered his kitchen with effortless skill, her movements spending to stir stew, her dress taut over her hips awakening forgotten desires. She shared her tale one night, widowed young, a 7-year-old son with kin while she scraped by in the only job desperation offered. "A decent man's worth more than silver, Jack," she said, her hand grazing his arm, sending sparks through him. Lily was a wildfire, sharp-tongued and bold. She'd swing her legs on his table, skirt riding high, spinning yarns that flushed his cheeks and tightened his jeans. "Ever been with a gal, Jack?" she teased on night 3, eyes twinkling. His blush fueled her laugh, but it held warmth. "We won't bite much." Yet Sophia haunted him most. Silent but magnetic, her presence was a melody he couldn't grasp. On night 4, as others slept, he found her by the window, moonlight silvering her tears. "Bad dreams?" he asked. She turned, vulnerability raw. "Of my tribe before the raids." "Before." She waved at her scars. Jack closed the gap, drawn inexorably. Tell me. Sophia's smile bloomed rare and real. In Navajo, we say a Donnie man with a woman's spirit. Gentle strength. That's you, Jack Harlan. Her fingers nearly brushed his cheek before falling. The air crackled with want. He leaned in. She pulled back. You don't know me, you hat. I've done to live. Doesn't matter, he growled, heart pounding. You're worth it all. But Lily's voice shattered the spell. Ain't this cozy? Evelyn shushed her, but the moment fled. Sophia retreated, leaving Jack aching under the stars, change brewing like thunder. Morning brought not just sun, but the rumble of engines. Marshal Kane and his crew, 6 thugs on motorcycles, badges bought by Madame Louise. Jack was chopping wood when they rolled up, dust clouds choking the air. Harlan, Kane barked, rifle cocked. Hand over Louise's property, and we'll walk. Jack's grip found his old Remington, steady as stone. Behind him, the door creaked. Evelyn, Lily, and Sophia stood defiant on the porch. No one's property on my land, Jack shouted, voice iron. Kane sneered. These ain't ladies' theory hookers. Belongings get returned. The slur ignited rage in Jack, not shock, but fierce protectiveness. Only thing returning is Udo the dirt. The shootout etched itself into Willow Ridge lore, though tales twisted facts. Folks said Jack stood alone like a hero. Truth was grittier. Sophia vanished into the woods, re-emerging with a handmade crossbow from scavenged parts. While Jack drew fire from his truck barricade, she struck silent as a shadow. Evelyn yanked Lily inside, but the redhead snatched Jack's shotgun. I won't go quiet, Lily spat, blood trickling from her bitten lip. It was chaos, bullets flying, men dropping. Jack's Remington barked 5 times, felling 5. Sophia's bolts pierced true, 2 hearts silenced. Kane charged. Lily's blast toppled him into the mud. Silence fell heavily. Jack's world tilted. He'd killed before, but never for love. Lily bled from shoulder wound, cursing fluently. Evelyn bandaged calmly as ever. Sophia stood vigilant, crossbow ready, eyes on the dead. This ain't done, Jack muttered. Louise's pull feds, maybe worse. Evelyn nodded grimly. That night, as Lily battled infection, the women packed. You can't stay with us, Sophia said, avoiding his eyes. We'll bring war. Jack's chest caved. I'll fight with you. Evelyn's touch was sisterly. You're good, Jack, but we're survivors hardened in ways you'd hate. Truth stung like venom. They slipped away at dawn, but Sophia lingered. On the porch, in pre-dawn gray, she faced him. What we had it meant the world. His throat burned. Then stay. Her fingers traced his jaw. You deserve purity, not my stains. I deserve you, he insisted, pulling her close. Their kiss was fire and farewell desperate, sweet, etching into his soul like a brand. She tasted of sorrow and spice. Breaking apart, tears streamed. In Navajo, Shiji my heart. You're mine, but hearts survive loss. She pressed a carved stone pendant into his hand. Some tales pause, not end. Evelyn pecked his cheek. Find a kind woman. Build a life, but remember us. Lily slugged his arm. You big lug, you prove not all guys are scum. Then they vanished into the mist, ripping his heart out. Townsfolk arrived, later Doc Ellis for wounds, Sheriff Reed to probe. Neighbors buzzed with gossip. They found Jack transformed, steadier, sadder, unbreakable. You did right, Reed said, eyeing bodies. Kane's gang was poison. Feds wanted him gone. But Jack stared horizonward, where his future had fled. The pendant stayed pocketed. Sophia lingered in dreams. 20 months blur by. Jack Harlan shed his shell-shocked skin. Willow Ridge saw him confident, kind courting the librarian briefly, but holding back. His ranch thrived. He became a guardian, standing against crooks. Legends swelled, but he kept truths sacred. On a crisp October dusk, as Jack tended a stallion, hoofbeats echoed. A rider appeared, a woman on a bay horse, black hair whipping wild. She dismounted gracefully, approached the fence, eyes locking with his. The pendant warmed. "I face my demons," Sophia said, voice like warm bourbon. "My people, my ghosts found peace." Her smile promised eternity. "Now, for our future." Jack vaulted the rail, sweeping her into his arms. They married that winter, building a life of love and legacy, kids, community, unbreakable bond. No shadows lingered, only light. What do you think about Jack's choices? Share in the comments, take a stand on whether he was right to fight for them, or if the women should have stayed from the start. Express your views. I'd love to hear your take.